Hello, this is Michael Archer, and this is my movie review for Business of Entertainment. The movie I chose was Instrument, a movie about the 1990s post-hardcore punk band Fugazi. Fugazi, like I said, they were post-hardcore, meaning that they were like a punk band that had broken new ground after hardcore punk, essentially, from the 80s. They were made up of different punk. They were actually a supergroup of people from different punk bands in the area, and one of those people who does guitars and vocals in Fugazi was Ian MacKaye, a very influential person into the hardcore music genre with his previous band Minor Threat, which is a personal all-time favorite of mine. The movie was directed by Jim Cohen. It stars Brendan Canty, Joe Lally, Ian MacKaye, and Guy Picciotto. The movie is about Fugazi. It's not really how they started out or anything like that. In fact, the way that this movie was done is very abstract in the sense of a musical documentary. Like most musical documentaries, there's an underlying story of the entire thing. There's how the band started, where the band was in this part of their career, and then eventually how they broke up or where they are now. This movie isn't like that. This movie is it's very loose with a plot. In fact, you could say it doesn't really have a plot other than that it's just a snapshot of this band. And I think the way that they did that was very interesting and very cool, because instead of getting the mythology of the band, like, you are getting ingrained into who this band was, instead of just like, I don't know, like if you watch a Metallica documentary, I haven't seen one, but if you watch a Metallica documentary and you understand how they started out and all that, you're more getting the legend of the band instead of who were these individuals who combined their talents to make some incredible music. And that's exactly what Instrument tries to convey. Instead of the story, they just want you to know who Fugazi was, how they did things, and, well, not really where they are now, but yeah, it just gave you this overarching concept of the band. And it's a very cool documentary, but very abstract. In fact, gathering information on the band strictly from this documentary is pretty difficult. You kind of have to come up with your own ideas, draw conclusions about things you see in the movie, instead of just getting it told to you like most documentaries would, it seems like. Anyway, with that being said, this movie has a lot to do with the do-it-yourself mentality. In fact, this movie feels like it's made up of a lot of just home videos shot up on VHS tapes and then spliced together. It honestly isn't the most professional looking movie, and in that respect, it's really cool. Like, I don't know. Personally, I thought it was great. There's a lot of interviews from like local news stations, just interviews with the band in general, their philosophy, and a lot of great live footage. This band was an incredibly wild live act, despite their music being sometimes really self-indulgent and kind of hard to get into. But anyway, this band, like I said, was ingrained in the do-it-yourself mentality. And it's like, for example, they owned their own record label, which was Discord. They released every single album of theirs on Discord. They managed themselves. They engineered and recorded themselves. In fact, there's a few scenes in the movie where they are shown recording their album Red Medicine. And they're not in a fancy studio. In fact, they are in their somebody's grandparents' house. I can't remember. Regardless, they're all of their equipment is set up. Like you've got the drummer in the kitchen, the bassist in the bathroom, the guitarist in the hallway, and if there's a solo singer on it, he's somewhere else with a makeshift booth made up, and he's singing through their track. But when they show these recording shots, a lot of them are just jams that the band is doing, and they for their live shows, they would do mostly benefit concerts. Honestly, they would play a lot of free shows, and but if there were shows that they were paid to play, it was $5 a ticket, $5 a head, and for every album that they put out, it was $8 an album, always. Now, you probably couldn't find that price for one of their albums right now, because they're kind of rare, but back when this movie was being shot, that's what their prices were, and they never went above or below this, and it's pretty impressive. And they didn't have any like t-shirts or merchandise, so they were able to make a name for themselves and become recognized by a lot of people, and they stuck to themselves for the entire way through. They never really went outside of this mindset, and they always decided it was best for them and for their fans. They decided that, like, they don't want to be this big superstar entity. They instead want to be a group that is all about the music, all about connecting with their fans, and it's never about, making a ton of money, even though with the way that they approach their business, they actually became very successful on the monetary end of things as well. The movie was released in 2003, and which was 2 years after their last album, The Argument, that after which they had broken up, or, well, as they say, went on indefinite hiatus with. So the movie was shot around the time that they were recording Red Medicine, a little bit before and a little bit after. And the movie came with, the movie had a soundtrack by the band that went by the same name, and it was released after their final original album. Anyway, thank you for watching.